No sky, no horizon, no sunrise, just rock and the sound of air moving somewhere far above you. This isn't a bunker, it's a city. Streets, stables, chapels, wine presses, carved room by room, floor by floor, as far as 18 stories beneath the ground. And it's been down here for close to 3,000 years. We're taught to think of underground cities as science fiction, doomsday vaults for the end of the world. But almost none of them were built for a hypothetical apocalypse. They were built for something specific, something the people building them were already living through. Today we're going underground to Cappadocia, to the Australian outback, to Cold War China, to answer one question. When humans give up the open sky, what are they actually running from? Central Turkey, Cappadocia. The ground here is made of tough, compressed volcanic ash, soft enough to carve with hand tools but strong enough to hold its shape once exposed to air. That combination is the entire reason this place exists. Derinkuyu was likely first hollowed out by the Phrygians around the 8th century BCE, then expanded by early Christian communities hiding from Roman persecution, and later from Arab raids during the Byzantine era. At its largest, it could shelter an estimated 20,000 people, along with their livestock and food stores, for months at a time. This wasn't a hideout, it was infrastructure. Look at the doors. A carved stone wheel, sometimes weighing half a ton, rolled into a groove to seal a corridor from the inside. No handle on the outside, no way to force it open from above. If you were chasing the people who lived here, you'd hit a wall of solid rock with no visible way through, and they'd know you were coming before you found it. Now the part that should genuinely impress you, the air. 18 stories down, with thousands of people, animals, and open flame for light, that's a carbon dioxide problem before it's anything else. Derinkuyu's builders solved it with over 50 vertical shafts, some running the entire depth of the city using basic physics. Warm air rises and pulls in cooler air, creating constant circulation with zero moving parts. Those same shafts doubled as wells, dropping straight down to the water table. One tunnel, two survival functions. No modern engineer designed this. It was worked out over centuries by people who had to get it right or die. Stables sat on the upper levels since heat rises and animal body heat helped warm the levels below in winter. Wine and oil presses, kitchens with smoke vented through surface openings disguised so enemies couldn't spot them. A chapel cut in a cross shape for a community that expected to wait this out for a long time. Derinkuyu is a city engineered against a threat with a face, a raider, a soldier, someone who could be delayed, misdirected, sealed out. But that's not the only reason to go underground. South Australia, Coober Pedy. Surface temperatures here regularly cross 50 degrees Celsius in summer. There's no raid coming, no army at the gates. The enemy here is the sun itself. Opal was discovered here in 1915. Miners chasing seams underground noticed that a few meters down the temperature barely moved. Cool in summer, warm in winter, almost no fluctuation, because a few meters of rock is an extraordinarily effective thermal buffer. So instead of building houses on top of the ground and fighting the climate every day, people moved into the mine tunnels, permanently. Today, an estimated 60% of Coober Pedy's population lives in what are called dugouts, homes carved directly into the hillsides. And this is the pivot point of the whole story. This isn't a grim bunker. It's underground real estate people choose. Dugout homes here often sell at a premium over surface houses because they need no air conditioning, no heating, and they're immune to the dust storms and heat waves that make surface life miserable. Compare the engineering. Derinkuyu needed rolling stone doors, hidden vents, and defensible choke points because it was built against an intelligent, adaptive threat. Coober Pedy needs almost none of that. Heat doesn't scheme. It doesn't find a way around your defenses. You just need enough rock between you and it. Same basic move, go underground, but the design logic is almost completely different because the fear is different. So now we have two cities, one built against people, one built against climate. There's a third kind, and it's the one that actually matches the doomsday image most people carry around in their heads. 1969. Tensions between China and the Soviet Union are at their highest point. Border clashes, the real possibility of nuclear conflict. Mao Zedong gives an order that becomes a nationwide slogan: dig tunnels deep, store grain everywhere. Over the following decade, an estimated 300,000 civilian laborers hand-dug a network beneath Beijing, stretching by some estimates over 30 kilometers, nicknamed Dixia Cheng, the underground city. Designed to shelter up to 1 million people in the event of nuclear war or Soviet invasion. This one is the closest thing to the pop culture image of a doomsday bunker, because it's the only one of the three actually built for that exact scenario. Blueprints show a self-contained micro-city, a theater, a clinic, a roller skating rink, grain and grease stores meant to feed the population for months, and entrances camouflaged inside ordinary shops and homes so the network couldn't be easily located or targeted. But here's the part almost every account leaves out. It was never finished to spec, and large sections were structurally unstable within years of digging, since this was civilian labor, not military engineering. Much of it flooded. Some tunnels were repurposed as mushroom farms and storage once Cold War tensions eased, and today only a small portion is open, mostly as a tourist curiosity. The bunker built for the apocalypse never had to be used, and ordinary time did more damage to it than any war would have. 3 underground cities, 3 completely different threats: raiders, heat, nuclear war. But strip away the specific fear, and the same handful of engineering problems show up every time. Airflow, because a sealed space with people in it becomes unbreathable in hours without it. Food independence, whether that's cave farming, grain stores, or livestock kept on upper levels. Thermal stability, since the same rock that blocks a blast also blocks a heat wave. And a cost all 3 share. No sunlight means disrupted circadian rhythm, vitamin D deficiency, and, well documented in miners and cave dwellers alike, a real toll on mood and orientation over time underground. The rock solves the physical problem almost every time. It's never fully solved the human one. So here's the actual question underneath all of this. Derinkuyu was a bet against other people. Coober Pedy is a bet against a slow, grinding climate. Beijing's tunnels were a bet against a war that, in the end, never came. Every underground city is a record of what its builders were most afraid of. Not the end of the world in the abstract, but one specific version of how it might happen. So if you were digging today, what would you be building against? The people above you? The sky itself? Or something slower that hasn't announced itself yet? Drop it in the comments, and if you want to see what's actually underneath your city, subscribe so you don't miss the next one.